Uh, hey everyone. It's April 25th right now. Well, 25th, 1 a.m. Technically, it is 25th. It was 24th. And that's when Avengers Endgame released in Korea. So I watched, of course, the movie today, actually a few hours ago, and I wanted to give my thoughts on it because it's the grand finale of 11 years of films, of 11 years of 20 or so films, and I just gotta say, I just wanted to give my thoughts on it. First of all, I'm going to start off by not giving any spoilers, and then I'm going to, at a certain point in the video, say I'm going to talk about spoilers now, and talk about some spoilers, so you'll probably want to not skip ahead of the video. Yeah. Alright, so first of all, I'm guessing all of you want to know, is this a good movie? And I'd say yes. It's a 3-hour movie. It's very long, but I'd say it's well paced. It doesn't feel like a 3-hour movie. The performances are all great. And one thing I really liked, and one thing I respect out of the Russo brothers, is that although there are many characters, every character, every Avenger, I feel like, has had their own arc. Throughout the Avengers films, Infinity War, Age of Ultron, Civil War, they all had their own arcs. And in their respective solo movies. And I feel like Endgame did a very good job in tying that all together. Wrapping it all up, I should say. It was a very satisfying ending for I think I would say all of the characters. It was very satisfying, the ending itself. Okay, it's really hard to not talk. It's really hard to talk about this movie without saying anything spoilery. One thing I will say is that you will be surprised in this movie because there are a lot of things that, well, maybe this, yeah, you will be surprised. That's all I'm going to say. There's a lot of character building. Like I said, there's a lot of building a story arc for certain characters. For most of the characters, actually, that are like the main players in this game, in this movie. And I feel like the Russo brothers did a very good job in wrapping this all up. And right now, it kind of feels surreal. I can't believe that this is going to be the final Avengers film. It's probably not going to be, but, you know, our current generation of Avengers, they're pretty much all gone, I would say. And I really don't know how to feel about that, but I'm sad. But this movie's so good. Is it better than Infinity War? I'd say I don't know, because my opinion on a movie changes drastically, you know, given some time. I might like the movie more, I might not like the movie as much after a certain amount of time. And it's only been like 4 hours since I watched the movie, so I really don't know. Right now, I really like the movie. I think I like it better than I think they're on equal footing. Come on. Oh. Alright. What more can I talk about this movie? There's a lot of moments, like there are in a lot of MCU films, that the fans will love. There's gonna be clapping. There's gonna be cheering. There's gonna be epic battles. Everything that you would expect from everything you would expect from a collaboration movie, crossover movie. Everything is gonna be there. Everything that you would expect in an epic is gonna be in there. Now, I would recommend that you probably watch Infinity War before you go watch this movie. It's on Netflix, so go watch it there. Because I feel like the two movies are inseparable because it's a two-parter. I guess the intermission is kind of like the year we had in between these two movies. Okay, what else can I talk about? Don't go on social media if you can, because there are gonna be a lot of people who are gonna spoil this movie. I was actually spoiled. I was fucking spoiled, but it didn't take my enjoyment away from the movie too much. But I was bummed out that I was spoiled. So please try not to be so. Just go in there with a blank slate, nothing, no input. Just go in there and you'll have fun. I guarantee it. Now, I think it's not going to please everyone. Some people might have some issues with the movie. Personally, I don't have any. I really can't find a flaw in the movie other than some plot holes that might be there. I think if you dig enough, you might find some plot holes. Because I kind of was sometimes wondering about some stuff that happened in the movie, you know, and it just wasn't clear enough. All right, so I'm now gonna talk about spoilers. So right here, the 6-minute 45 second mark. This is when I'm gonna start talking in spoilers. Probably not a lot of you are going to want to watch it because I know in the US this movie comes out on the 25th or the 26th. So most of you probably haven't watched it. So I strongly warn you, I'm going to be talking spoilers. Alright. So the trailers had us believe that the Avengers were going to team up with Captain Marvel, Ant-Man, and the other guys. They're gonna go to Thanos, trying to take him out, and they're gonna fail and they're gonna find another way to get back at Thanos, which is probably gonna be something about the quantum realm or something. This was the theory that was circulating, right? And I was really thrilled that the subversion of expectation was right at the 10-minute mark because they start off by going to Thanos first. It's like really fast. So in the theater, I was thinking like, how are they gonna fill up this movie? What are they gonna fill it up with? Apparently, the quantum realm journey was actually pretty fun. There are a lot of really good moments for each characters. It goes back to some of the key moments like 2012 New York, 2014, the start of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And I think the Russo brothers did a really, really good job in setting Thanos up as the villain. Because so he's not really, he gets killed. Past Thanos, he's also a threat too. And I thought that was a really clever way to bring back Thanos, with that subversion of expectation that happened before the opening credits. Okay. What else should I talk about? I loved how the movie started out with Hawkeye losing his family. That was just incredibly shot and emotionally shot. Black Widow's arc. Oh, that was... I feel like it was earned. But I wanted to see more of Black Widow in the previous movies because we didn't get a lot of Black Widow. We didn't get a lot of her in Civil War. We didn't get a lot of her in Infinity War, and we kind of get a lot of her in this movie. Now, the sadness is there. I thought Hawkeye was gonna die. But, yeah, really bummed out about that. And that death kind of gave Bruce Banner his arc, his story arc. But I think Hulk was kind of like neglected relative to the other Avengers. Thor has his arc where he believes that he is, destined to save the world. He's destined to be a god, but he fails because he's just like us. He's not really. Well, the Asgardian gods are not really portrayed as gods. They're more like really advanced humans. Steve Rogers finally gets his arc in which he is called out on being a liar by Tony Stark. And he finally has the fight of his life. He has his moment with Mjolnir. That was fucking awesome. Normally Korean theaters don't clap in movie theaters. We're very quiet. Sometimes we gasp and laugh a lot, but I definitely heard clapping because I was clapping. Guy behind me was clapping. Guy in front of me was clapping. Also, very fun moment when it comes to Cap, I think, especially when they go into the time travel journey. They, the 1v1 Cap versus Cap, that was pretty fun. Yeah, the whole journey, the Quantum Realm journey had multiple missions, and all of them were entertaining, which is not easy to do. I'm really intrigued by that. Okay, what else to talk about? Tony Stark. Oh, he definitely gets closure, man. Right from the start, you can understand where he's coming from when he says he doesn't want to risk his life because he has a perfect life. He's got it lucky. He's got Pepper. He's got his daughter. He has no reason to go out there and risk his life to try and save everyone because if he dies, it's all null. It's all nil. But he does the thing which defines him rather than his father. He does the thing that's for the better good, for the betterment of society, rather than his own personal gain. And that's his story arc. That's what he's trying to do in all these movies. He's trying to protect the world, but he's doing it in a way that's also neglecting it, and he's being a bit of an asshole in the process. Now, he does get his, I guess, redemption. He does get his he does get his moment. He does save the Earth. It's reminiscent of the first Avengers movie where he, puts the nuke, except he actually faces the consequences and he finally gets rid of the threat once and for all. And I thought that was a beautiful story arc. Steve Rogers, the man lost in time. Also, I thought, man, I kind of thought that would be the perfect ending for Cap, where he goes back in time, lives with Peggy. And that's exactly what happened. So that was emotionally awesome. Okay, so all the Avengers I think got a very good ending to their storyline. Though I think Thor is going to get more because he's on a quest to try and be what he can be without being shackled by destiny. I don't know what's going to happen with Bruce Banner because I don't know if Mark Ruffalo has another contract with Marvel. But I like that the Avengers movie also sets up future movies and their story arcs, especially the Guardians, because we don't have Gamora. Gamora's not back after this because Gamora, we have 2014 Gamora, and she has no connections with Quill and the other Guardians. But Quill still has his emotions for Gamora, and he's going to go out of his way to try and find her. There's Nebula, and oh man, Thor joining the party, and the Thor feeds into Quill's, Peter Quill's, what should I say? His self-consciousness, because he's a god, man, and you can see in Infinity War he's kind of intimidated by Thor. He doesn't really like him. So that's going to play a lot into Peter Quill's story arc. I think Rocket and Groot was not developed a lot in this movie. Mantis and Drax were not as well. But I feel like they will. It's a good setup for Guardians 3. with Peter and Gamora, possibly Nebula as well. And I think it's going to be very interesting. I'm really hyped for Guardians 3. What else can I talk about? The end battle was fucking awesome. Of course, I cheered like fucking crazy. Holy crap. That's a nerd's dream, man. Oh, what else can I talk about? This movie's so great. Can't praise this movie enough. It's very emotional too. It's also very funny at parts. Okay, some emotional parts that got me. When Tony Stark reminisces about losing Peter. When Peter meets up with Ned after Tony dies. That's a fucking heartbreaker, because they hug and they cry. And another emotional moment when Hawkeye finally returns to his family. That was, oh man. What else? Also, I think another emotional moment, because I talked about Cap's ending and Iron Man's ending, I also wanted to pinpoint Thor's interactions with his mom, and I think that was such a heartwarming thing to see. Imagine knowing that your mom's going to die tomorrow, and you basically, your mom has already passed away, and you go back into the past and see her for one last time, and you just have a chat with her. I think that was the start of Thor's story arc, of his trying to find himself. And I think that was very emotional. Cap wielding Mjolnir. I think this is the culmination of finally proving that Cap is this God's righteous figure. He is worthy. And, oh man, I'm rambling here. And I think it's such a great payoff, man. Anything else I want to talk about? This movie's there's so much to talk about. Okay, here's my slight gripe. I really don't like the quantum realm thing. It was a little predictable, and well, I didn't really expect an explanation, but they just kind of said, "Oh, Tony Stark just solves time travel." Yeah. Anything else? This really isn't a movie about defeating Thanos. This is more about a movie where the Avengers have a mission to do something, and that necessarily isn't to defeat Thanos. And they're going out of their way to try and achieve this mission. And in the way of that mission, there is Thanos. And that's basically how the whole movie is structured. Oh man, what is Marvel gonna put out after this? Because they hit a home run on this one. Man, I really don't know, man. I really don't know. Anyways, I think that's all I have to talk about. I already talked for like 20 minutes nonstop. Final conclusion. This movie is awesome. It builds upon story arcs and concludes them in a very satisfying way. It also sets up future story arcs for other franchises like Guardians and other characters like Thor. Alright. Thanks for watching. I hope you didn't skip ahead and hear all these spoilers. I'm gonna have to make sure that the title has spoilers starting. Yeah, I should just, Whew. This movie, man. I really do want to... for those of you who, I used to write my reviews on Facebook instead of recording them. And I do have a written review of Infinity War. I do want to write a review of Endgame in like a one-page fashion. Just there's a lot of emotions going through me right now. I just can't process them. It's been too little of time. Anyways, go see this movie, man. 11 years of Marvel. And like 70 to 80% of those movies are all good. God damn it. The Russo brothers are awesome.